Hi, my name is Janet Quintana, and we're going to talk about the semiotic theory of communications today. We're going to look at the definition of a semiotic theory. We're going to talk about some of the gentlemen that were founders of the theory. Also, we're going to look at examples from the Bible and in our everyday life that we deal with from day to day. So this semiotic theory is the study of signs and symbols and how we interpret that. Semiotic theory is a relationship between the sign, the object, and the meaning. It can be divided into three components: semantics, syntactic, and pragmatic. Signs and symbols are what we use every day to communicate, not only with each other, but in traffic and other people around the world. Signs are used to stimulate us, and the symbols are what we use as thought. Charles Saunders Peirce was one of the founders of the modern day semiotics. He defines semiosis as the relationship among the sign, the object, and the meaning. He studied many areas as well, such as theory of logic, language communication, the theory of signs, and many other areas he studied as well. Saunders states that the sign relation is a mental or cognation of the mind. He divided signs into three categories: qual signs, sin signs, and lega signs. Ferdinand de Saussure was another one that was a founder of the semiotic theory. He was a Swiss linguistic, and he studied at the University of Geneva. There he studied physics, chemistry, but at the same time he did decide that he wanted to study languages instead. He became a member of the Linguistic Society, and later he convinced his parents to transfer him to the University of Leipzig to further study linguistics. He believed that language was complex. He proposed that there were two parts of the theory: the signifier and the signified. He was also a philosopher. He studied how linguistics, signs, and symbols intertwine with each other. Okay, now the peace sign. You have two different peace signs here. The first one is with the fingers. That has several meanings. It can be the Roman numeral 5. Means, of course, peace. It can also be a meaning for the letter V in sign language. Now the other symbol that you have over there. And victory. Yes, that is another one. I didn't think about that one at the time I wrote this. But the other peace sign over there, it was popular in the 70s. When you look at that, okay, I can see peace. But if you look really closely, the symbol in the middle is an upside down broken cross, which represents the cross that Nero used to hang Peter. And that just goes to show you another way that Satan takes the beauty of the cross and twists it. Okay. The rainbow. Now the rainbow, in Genesis 9:13, it says, "I set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for the sign of the covenant between me and the earth." God placed the rainbow in the sky as a covenant with Noah that he would not destroy this earth again with a great flood. However, we know decades later, what do we have with the rainbow? It symbolizes the homosexual community. In 1978, the rainbow flag had 8 colors. Between 78 and 79, they dropped some of the colors off and ended up with 7 colors. The flag today, as of 79, only has 6 colors. Now, each color has their different meanings. The hot pink stood for sexuality, which they discontinued that color because that was a fabric they could not find. Red was life, orange is healing, yellow was sunlight, green nature, turquoise was magic and art. That was another fabric they couldn't find, so they discontinued that one. Indigo was serenity or harmony. That later became the blue stripe. And then violet, which is the spirit. Again, another example where Satan steps in and takes the beauty that God created and turns it into something not so beautiful. All right. Now, the statue in Daniel 2. This is a good symbol of symbolism. If you look at the statue, you have the head of gold, which is representative of Babylon, the kingdom of Babylon, and it's later represented in Daniel with the lion. The arms and the chest are silver. That represents the Medo-Prussians, as well as the bear later in Daniel. The belly and the thighs are bronze. Those would be represented later in Daniel by the leopard. This stands for Greece. The feet of clay and iron, and the legs are of iron. The legs represent the beast or the divided kingdom. The clay feet with the stones, or the iron and the clay, represents the 10 kings. Now, the stone that was cut from the mountain represents Jesus Christ himself, the Son of Man in the kingdom that is yet to come. All right. Alright, so street signs. This is something that we live with every day. If you drive a car, you're going to see these every day. Perfect way to see semiotics in action. You have some street signs that don't have words on them, but you know what they mean. So you can interpret them on your own. You've got left turn, right turn, stops, do not enter, speed limit signs. Like, those are self-explanatory. You can tell what's going to be happening. If there's a deer crossing or railroad tracks coming up, you know that by the signs that are there. Now, this one is very interesting to me. This is called the Rosetta Stone. This stone was discovered by a soldier of Napoleon Bonaparte in the Rosetta Valley. The stone is currently held in the museum in London. As you can see, there's 3 distinct divisions of the stone. Each division has a different type of writing. The top division is the hieroglyphics of ancient Egypt. This should be the Greek. And this is what they call the Dominic, which is cursive hieroglyphics. Now, when scientists went to decipher the hieroglyphics, they didn't know how, because there was no written language for the hieroglyphics. However, Greek being a known language, since our New Testament was written in Greek, and it was spoken back then, they took the Greek words and looked for words similar, or numbered words similar in the hieroglyphics, and they used the Greek to interpret the hieroglyphics. So, in conclusion, signs and symbols are everywhere. In ancient places and in current places. The rainbow is a beautiful creation, again, that God created, but that Satan distorted. A beautiful thing happened at the cross, but again, Satan distorted that. And then again, every day you have your street signs. Follow the laws so you don't end up in jail or get a ticket. With that, all we've got to say today. If you have any questions, let me know. I thank you for your time and listening today.